Hi, I'm John Rydell, and this is In the Mix Experience. Our little painting class for today will include an image, as you can see here, of the statue of Neptune across the street from the Capitol building at the Library of Congress. It just happened that I took this shot in a snowstorm, but it is really an excellent shot because it displays all 5 points of perspective, making it look like real space. So what we're going to do is try to reproduce this image in paint, and I'll show you how it's done. We're going to start out with our palette. As you can see, the colors are primary colors, which are red, yellow, and blue, and including black and white. Very simple color scheme. Actually almost a monochromatic piece, so we'll have to add a little color as we go. Alright, so the first thing we're going to start with, which I always do, is the sky. In this case, the sky consists of white and gray. Okay, now speaking of palettes, so this is the palette where we mix the paint. So we're going to start out with the sky, and as you can see, sort of a standard winter sky, which we call a whiteout when it's snowing real hard up here in the Great White North. So we're going to start out with some white over here, right about almost center of the picture, and then tapering down an angle. And going down this way, and bringing that across like this. So it's a very active winter sky, so we're going to just put in a little bit of gray. Blowing, howling wind and snow. Okay, very good. And then we're going to mix in a little light gray for our limestone on the actual structure itself, which is sort of a canopy over the driveway down below. We're going to start over here. Let's see. Mix that in here. Okay. Here's that color here. And this color. This gray here. Actually reach right into that color. And then we're going to follow a line and find here. This gray here, and more gray here, all the way down to the steps over here. So we have these pillars, pillars. So we go smaller to larger, to the big pillar. Underneath the pillars, of course, on the same lines. This is what we call perspective, folks. When, after all, it is the 5 points of perspective. So we follow this, and that would draw, what it does, draws the eye of the viewer. Okay. Eye of the viewer, which would be you and me, who happens to look at it. Okay. Across the palette. Very pleasing to the eye. The eye wants to go, and this is Western civilization, so we do tend to do everything in other graceful line down the stairway. This. Another stairway to the edge. This. Okay, we got that in there. I'm going to add some more gray underneath. And this is more vertical. We go vertical. Color continues. More color, so we continue. From this angle, we go more or less straight across. We get down below. We get the angle going this way and the angle coming across like this. Okay. The colors. Continue. Some structural build. Over here. Okay, until we meet another line. Interesting. It's a very interesting composition is what we call it. Now this line goes at another angle. And that one continues across this way. We get to Neptune, and then it shoots over here. This, okay, and continues. Colors, more colors, and then this one. Like a knee wall. The fountain is contained inside and usually holds water when things aren't frozen. But it just so happens on this particular occasion, everything is frozen. So, these different angles working their way into our piece. Here. Here, another stairway here, and then down line, leading the other line over here. So it forms a triangle here. Okay, and then inside of this, very interesting things going on, and it's shaded, so it's darker. But here, inside, on the inside, we get arches. And I'm just going to color those in for the moment. Woods, darker, shaded, black, contrasting, limestone, around the arch, sketching our arches, and sketch another arch. The arches are parallel the vertical lift of the pillars. Everything's about the pillars here, folks. Figure that out. Okay, and then we have a smaller arch, of course. As would be keeping with the law. We're just dealing with natural law. We're naturalists here, so if you're a naturalist, to observe things in nature and in structure the natural wall with dictate. Smaller arch here, and they follow the same progressive pattern as the angle. And then at last, another arch here. Shorter arch. It's all seems correct. A little bit of weight. Okay, so we're making progress on our image. We will continue to build on that. So here we go. So we're going to add some more gray to the walls. And you can add a little texture like this. You can need some textural lines in your piece. Around these arches, see? The stone surrounds the arches. The arch is actually the side of this limestone. Okay? That's beautiful. Makes us happy. We're happy painters. Oh man, did I freeze out there. A cold winter day around 11:30 or so. And the lighting is actually out of the south, so we'll be over here. And that's how we're going to structure our shadows. And we're happy meeting our happy natural selves. It's a little darker. This side is small. Darker gray in here. Shooting across. Shooting. Okay. Don't be afraid, just lay it in there. And then getting to where we want to be. Basically, at this point, it's black and white, which is what we call monochromatic. It's hard to talk about color here. It's not really color we're dealing with, it's light and dark, which forms most of the dimensions that the eye will follow across the work. Okay. Now we're getting some structure going on. Now we're going to move back over here to this knee wall and shooting to this corner. Kind of like a box that contains the fountain. And it goes all the way down to this corner. See how nicely the image fills the space. Okay. And then over here, we continue along this other line, which runs this way. There we go. Be just a little happier all the time. It makes our eye feel like we're going into the image and defining the space. We're here defining space, folks. Okay. Now I'll take a smaller brush, very angular, so it makes sense to use angular brushes. Now you can see around, just put a little detail in. Use a little darker gray for a detail, which is going to follow the same lines. So as we come along here, there's like a cornice up here. And it comes along side the arches. And the stairway. Okay. And the other stairway. Okay. All right. So we're beginning to see that. And then what we do is following these lines. This one here goes almost straight across. A little ledge here, stone ledge carved into stone, built into the stone. Across the pillars. Start here, a little too close to that. Next name, our stairway starts. Down. And across. Okay. Very good. Now as you can see, the legs coming from this way, so this is where you get the shadow on the side, on the side, on the side of the pillars. So, let's duplicate that in paint. So where's the side of the pillar? Right here. Side of the pillar. Side of the pillar. Side of the pillar. Okay, very happy. Happy sides of the pillar. Now let's cut through also innate stonework. Pillar. Okay. Then we've got another sill or like a lintel up here, so this is shaded. Along that same angle. One pillar. One pillar. One pillar. Okay? See how that's coming together. Then, what are we going to do next? Do a little detail on these. A little sharper edge in the brush. Okay. And we have what we call a keystone. Center of the arch. Keystones. Forming the outer rim of the arch. Over here. I want to start. there's some shorter stones around this arch. Here, 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 and we keep following around. So you can see how our image is developing. It's a very architectural thing. Just kind of follow the same lines. Meanwhile, while it's very angular, we're adding with the paint sort of an organic feel to it. As you can see, the detail fades into the image. Arches, and swans. Okay, now inside these arches, like some darker veins coming in here. Define. Interior. The arch. More blocks. Like building blocks, folks. Blocks, blocks, blocks. Okay. Now we're going to come over here. You don't have to be afraid. Don't be afraid. Just lay the paint in there. Follow the same patterns. Even though they're these. We got blocks, blocks, like building blocks. Take them back to kindergarten. Just love to play with building blocks. Build things. Makes you happy. Happy builders. Blocks. Okay. And of course we have our darker triangle. We're making some progress here with our image. All the way to the edge of town, folks. All the way to the edge. Big stairway, nice little triangular. There. Okay. So we're making progress. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to paint in the statues. That should be fun.